extemporaneous type speech. What is it? It's a conversational type speech, which means you know what you are talking about, you've done your research, you know pretty much everything about it, except that everybody around you doesn't, and that's where the speech comes in. Minimal notes, you use as little notes, not as little, you use as many as you need, but as small amount as you need, if that makes sense. And also structure. Structure is super important because if you don't use structure, it's going to make it look like you are messy, you don't know what you're talking about, or you might know what you're talking about, but it'll come out like you don't because you didn't organize it in a good way. And next one, advantages and disadvantages. Okay, advantages first. It is easier to listen to, it's more fun to listen to, and it is memorable for the people who actually are listening. Disadvantages. It is hard for a lot of people because, well, you have to use hand motions and a lot of other like charts, whatever stuff, making it more like into a conversation, like I'm talking to somebody. That's hard for some people because they're just introverts, and it's hard for them to talk to anyone. And another one is it takes a lot longer to prepare. Like, let's say if you're doing a different type of speech, all you have to do is write it up, structure it, and you're good. Versus this one, structure it and rehearse it and rehearse it and rehearse it and then do it. So yeah, it takes a lot more structure, I'd say, because of the notes and you having to minimalize those notes and memorize those notes. So it just adds on top of a lot of things. So it takes a lot more time. And lastly, sorry, I have notes right there, so we're doing good. It can take too long or too short of time. So let's say you're doing the minimalization and you're trying to mix it up a bit. You can use way too long or way too short sentences than you anticipated, and that will make your whole speech time go way out of whack. So that is a big downside of it, but it's actually not that big. Tips that I learned from the YouTube video. Structure. I need to structure a lot more because usually I don't structure that well whenever I give a speech. I haven't done that many speeches, so I didn't really get time to, but now I will, and it will be a big part of my grade. So yeah, fun. Practice structure, I guess, too. Practicing rehearsing, practicing reading everything, practicing minimalizing notes, just a lot of practice in general. And don't use as many notes. That's the last one. Using notes for me is super important because whenever I make something or do something, I always look back at them. For me, I can maybe minimalize it to half of the main notes that I originally got, but to bring it down to one word is super hard for me. So that is another thing that I need to work on. And that is all for assignment 1.